What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about SoundHound, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what really happened with it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound did get hit, went down 17.06%, 606 the low, 675 the high. So I see a lot of people very confused on social media, and the reasoning is because simply their earnings wasn't all that bad. They actually did have a triple beat. And so when it comes down to it, they did beat on their earnings per share as well as revenue, even though revenue was a little bit higher than I was anticipating. As far as the initial estimates, they beat it by 2.07 million. And then not only that, they raised future guidance. So essentially, like I said, a triple beat. But why did it go down? Simple. Regrettably, a lot of people just are looking at the multiples and it just didn't really jive. So one stock that stands out to me that had a similar sell-off to SoundHound, even though they did also have a triple beat, was Palantir. So I'm sure a lot of you know at this stage what Palantir is and what they do. But for those of you that remember, when it was at like $25, they had a triple beat. It went down to, I think, $18. So I had a very crazy sell-off. In my opinion, not saying SoundHound is Palantir or vice versa, but I think a lot of us generally do know that SoundHound is going to be a very big deal. And this is why I've actually been slowly accumulating. I did try to buy a little bit today. I'm going to go over my potential order, but honestly, I think today's earnings did really set the trajectory for it to be back at the double digits. Analysts love it. And they already are starting to raise future expectations for following earnings. Even just looking for the February, so the Q4, already have one new revision for the earnings per share. So definitely, I think big things are coming. Essentially going over here, so this is their earnings. They did submit this late last night. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. So starting off, as far as cash and cash equivalents, they do have this, so 135 million. One thing that they were very excited about was this, so kind of the all-time high, so 25 million for revenue, so kind of a record number there. Loss from operations, 33.7 million, very good improvement. So pretty much on every aspect, they are moving in the right direction. They did state, I can't really recall it offhand, but there was, I think, 2 conferences that they're going to be participating in January. So that will be before their next earnings. So it might be the next big catalyst potentially for SoundHound. There's a lot of other key metrics, but of course, I think any stock at this stage in the game, you just want to watch for how much cash they have just to kind of gauge for dilution, revenue, and just generally future guidance. And so they did guide, I believe, between 83 and 85 million for 2024. Previously it was 80. So honestly, yeah, they're moving in the right direction. Like I said, it just comes back onto the actual multiples right now. So yeah, even though they had a triple beat, some people just clearly do not feel that it's justified to have, for instance, a 40.3x for the PS. So in reality, it is what it is. Take this for maybe a diamond in the rough buying opportunity today, because similar to, like I mentioned, just about Palantir, we already know how high that has gone up since this. They kind of had that sell-off or miss, essentially, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, the only difference between SoundHound and Palantir, and my apologies, I don't mean to kind of correlate the two so much, it just Palantir is only one of those AI plays that just Wall Street does not really understand, or especially initially. So this is why you did have a sell-off. I think a similar kind of nature is happening to SoundHound, but the only case in SoundHound is it's somewhat heavily shorted. So 24.97% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 79.14 million shares. Shorts did increase 411,000 shares, so that is net. They were very active today, so again, that 411 is net. Utilization 92.26, and then cost to borrow average is 12.33%. So yeah, honestly, I think once they do hit profitability, most likely second half of 2025, this is where shorts will just naturally get the hell out. Yeah, that's just my viewpoint, of course. So when it comes down to some analyst ratings, I'll quickly pop over to 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, give you an overview. You can kind of see my order right here. So I did actually place it when it was selling off. So I put in for 500 at 605. So this is a completely new position under 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗖𝗧, but the low for today was 606. So I don't know, just my luck, of course, but it would have been awesome to have that filled. But aside from that, I'll try again tomorrow. So if it does kind of hit that, then so be it. But there was a couple new analyst ratings that did come out. So one was Northland Michael, who did maintain their $6 price target. Michael, who has a 54% success rating. You had Ladenburg did downgrade from, I believe it was $8 to $7. Glenn, who has a 50% success rating. So of course, that's pretty much just flipping a coin. You also had a $10 buy, Wedbush, Daniel Ives, 54% success rating. So it's very interesting to see Daniel Ives being very bullish, because when I cover Palantir under Financial Journey, one of my other YouTube channels, he's kind of the poster boy of Palantir. So once again, this is why I was kind of laying the foundation and connecting the two, because he's been very right with Palantir and a lot of other AI plays. So it is fair to assume, you know, he might be right with this. And him giving a $10 price target and it's at 6 and change right now, that's a pretty good return on investment just in the short term, in my opinion, of course. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Quickly moving back over to here, I'll give you an overview of some of the options activity and stuff like that. So there was 9.29 million in calls, 2.36 million in puts. 47% of all the options being done today were bearish. So that's kind of a change of events. I'm just changing this all from SoFi to SoundHound. But of the call options that were purchased today, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that above around $8, give or take, for the foreseeable future. And then on the flip side, looking at the puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub 6. So in my opinion, a lot more upside is anticipated as of right now. But aside from that though, looking right here, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So even though you had some selling happening after hours, some buying first thing, it goes to show that big money is finally looking at SoundHound. And that's one thing that's it's been missing over the last little bit. And this is why you've seen a lot of manipulation and just price suppression, because with lower volume and shorts are very much all over SoundHound, like they kind of dictate what does happen. So you really want to watch for bigger money to continue to get in and pay attention to it. And like I said, I think with their earnings, you are probably going to see a couple more analyst ratings, so that might draw more attention to it. But again, I could be wrong about that. No matter what, when it comes down to SoundHound, it's a long-term play, but I think AI, like based on everything that they're doing, it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to continue to grow. But as of right now, with it at $6.27, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So $6.48 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. So just watch for it to kind of get above that. Tomorrow, Powell is speaking tomorrow. So that could give it a nice push higher dependent on what he does say. And then flip side, $5.60 is going to be that next strong support, which I don't see that feasible in the short term unless something crazy does happen more on a macro level to really bring it down. But yeah, honestly, I've started to really like SoundHound, and that's one thing that I've stated in the past is I did launch memberships where I have a private Discord, and I was saying in there that SoundHound is a screaming buying opportunity. I think I was saying that since around like $5-ish. So honestly, even at this stage in the game, I am a buyer. I tried to buy, obviously, like I showed you, so I'll kind of do that tomorrow. I did also do I sold a lot of $5 puts on a side note, just in case there was going to be a tentative sell-off. That's a screaming buy at 5. So in my opinion, I don't think it's you're ever going to see sub 5 in the foreseeable future again, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Was there anything from their earnings that you did not like? Was there anything that kind of spooked you, essentially? Or did you buy the dip today? Did you sell? What did you do with SoundHound? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then 2 things I want to share with you. Take advantage of this promo because it gives you 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. And then aside from that, if you want to take a look at my private Discord, all my buy signals, stocks, options, all that fun jazz, take a look at that in the description below as well. With that said, appreciate all of you watching.